back. So let's start adding the navigation right here, and let's just try and jump into Angular material, because I want to figure out how to actually add a nav bar to my system. So here's a side nav right here, and let's just try and have a look. This is how what we need. We need the side nav module. So let's start by adding that to our public module, right? So going back to my code right here, public module, I'm going to need the side nav module right now. There we go. Let's just import that. So now we have the side nav, and let's go back to the example. Now these examples will actually throw you to something called StackBlitz, which is a page that pretty much just shows you small code examples. So that is available. You can click there if you want to. I'm going to go to the navigation right here with the open close behavior, just to kind of show you what I want to actually end up with, something similar. So here we have the page. It's just going to start a small development server to show you the actual running code. It's a pretty amazing site to see examples actually. There we go. And if I click this, I want something like this that kind of shows a side nav and then hides it again to kind of toggle it. There's a lot of code in here I'm not going to need, like events and stuff like that, but let's just start with the actual HTML right here, grab everything and put that into our side nav example, and then we'll clean it up a little bit. Jumping into my side nav right here, I'm going to paste all of this in. Notice because I have the module, this will work right out of the box. I'm going to get rid of the run right here, and I'm going to actually call this just side nav container. Side nav container. There we go. I don't want any of this. Let's get rid of that. So let's check out the different modes that are available. I'm going into the API again here on Angular Material, and I'm scrolling down. I want to look for the mode that is available. Here it is. It's actually the input type of mode. You can pick over, push, or side. Let's just pick over. That pretty much means that instead of grabbing space, it's going to hover over the text, right? So it's going to slide in across the page. Let's just try that one. I actually think if you want to see it, I can go and give you this small example right here and just put over here. I'll save this, and I think you can actually recompile this and try it again. Let's try and do rebuild, try and do over. Notice now it kind of hovers over, where with the side, you would notice that if I save this again and refresh, you'll notice that now it actually moves the text, right? So it moves everything. So that's why I want to pick the over. Back to our code, it's now over, and we have the content right here. Now the content, if I go back to the example, the content is what you see when I kind of open this. That's the content. Let's go back and have a look at our code again. And then this is actually what's going to be inside when it's hidden. So everything you see in here, that's actually going to be what you see. Let me just try and delete this. Actually, let's do it in the StackBlitz so you can see it. Everything in here is actually what will be presented in the content. So let's just add an H1 right here just to show you an example. Let's say snurf like this, and the H1, and you'll see that that's actually the content inside when it's not shown, right? So right now you'll see the button just disappeared. I need that button to kind of toggle it. So let's just do this, keep the button, and write hello, and just get rid of everything else. So I just want to show you guys what the content is actually all about. So when I click the button now, you'll see the content showing up, the side nav content, and then you also have the actual content where we're going to put our route outlet. So let's try and continue actually building this code. We have the content right here, and here we're going to put the route outlet. Now, right now I'm just going to put in H1 because I need to make a few changes to start using the route outlet in here. Here we will have content. Let's just put that in there for now, and let's just end this for now with the side nav, because that is actually now ready to be used. Let's go and actually start using this inside our code, and notice the side nav component is app side nav content. We'll just go to our app HTML right here and put it right below the toolbar. Add a start, put it in, add an end. There we go, and that's the side nav now again. It doesn't know about this because I didn't actually export it. Going back to my public, and I want to also export the side nav component, and now it'll know about it in here as well. So now we have these two available. Now I want to end up putting the route outlet in there, but we need to make a few changes to do that. So let's actually just try that this lesson to add the route outlet into the side nav. So I'll remove it from here. And just to kind of demystify app routing, I'm going to move the app routing that you have down here, the basic routing, into the public module instead. So I'm just going to move it. I'll just drag it and put it up here into the public folder. There we go. So now it's in here. Let's open it. I'm going to rename it. Instead of calling it app routing, I want to refactor this guy and rename it to public routing, just meaning that this is the main routing module, right? I'm going to rename it. Now, when I do this, it's going to ask, do you also want to rename the actual file to public routing? And yes, just do that for me. Now you'll notice it's public routing now. The final thing I want to do is I want to start using the public routing in the public module up here. So I'll put it in here. There we go. I'll import it. And I don't want to use it anymore in the app routing module. Down here in the app module. Let's get rid of it there. So now that we've actually used the routing module into the public module instead, we can go into the app component and notice it doesn't know about the routing module, so I can't use the router outlet here anymore. I'll move it and I'll put it into the sidenav because I want the router outlet to actually be inside my sidenav's content, which is where everything will be shown, like I just showed you in the stack blitz. There we go. So now we have the route outlet in here, and that should mean that now everything should look the same as before. Except that now if you notice there's a small gray area in the background, that's because this is actually now shown, the route outlet is shown inside the navbar content. That's it for this lesson. Now you guys move the routing module into a new module and we can actually continue working right here in next lesson. What we want to do is we want to actually have the side nav show and hide on different click events. See you next time. Have fun.